Which one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best? 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 What's the second best?
What is up, Discover Crypto? My mic is broken here today. Donald Trump's about to tour the Federal Reserve. We have massive news breaking on a few different altcoins I'm going to show you. We have a huge development with a really cool product release we're going to be showing you guys. And of course, we're diving into, should you stop buying Bitcoin and pay attention to altcoins as we break down a brand new crypto tier list. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Like, Josh, you're an idiot. You should be buying Bitcoin at all-time highs. You should be buying the top, Joshua Jake. You don't know what you're talking about. You should be buying at 120K. Well, I got news for you. The charts might be telling us something different here. So it's good to see everybody in here. Let me go ahead and show you guys our brand new news website, guys, here. Looking absolutely beautiful here on FOMO.io. We got tons of news rolling out here today, and this is going to bug me. I need to get a new, what do you call it? Guys, type 1 in chat if the audio is good. Is the audio good here? I'm a loud person. So is the mic at least being picked up from down there? I know the gain's short. Is it better? Is it worse? I'll fix it if I have to right now, but the arm is lazy. It needs a Viagra. So put 1 in chat if the audio is good. Sufficient saying it's sufficient enough. That makes sense here. But looking at, of course, the news here today, we have a lot of news to cover. First and foremost, Tron. Being at opening bell, guys. Justin Sun, opening bell. What is this? We're going to be covering this breaking news. And of course, this video prompt as we cover the markets. But right now, Bitcoin pulling back here under $119,000 again, getting a lot of resistance at the 119K level. It wants to break through, but we cannot break through that threshold. Ethereum back up to $3,700, peaking at $3,775 a little bit earlier this morning. If you're a trader out there and you're using high leverage, I salute you, soldier. I salute you, soldier. Okay? It is a moment of volatility in this market. It's a moment of whiplash in this market. And bro, dude, these headaches are crazy. Like, and this is, you know, it just happens. I'm going to be lowering. I got to lower to 5x, dude. I got to start trading with like not high leverage at all, because there's now been 2 entry points here. Yesterday in the Discord, we missed it we got stopped out by $2 before missing on the entire move to the downside because we decided to use a little bit higher leverage. So keep that in mind, guys. This is a low leverage environment, because if you're using high leverage, this is absolutely insane. Look at this drop, 4%. You're wiped. You're gone. Look at this drop. You go to the measurement stick here. Look at this drop. You're down 1.76%. You're wiped. Look at this drop. You're down 2.48%. You're wiped. It is just a whipsaw action here right now. So if you guys are trading, keep in mind, low leverage is probably better. And I'll be covering that, of course, with our liquidations and our tools here in just a minute, because there is some trades that I do see starting to play out. Specifically for potential long positions, I'll be giving you guys my target. But first, we need to cover some of this crypto news because markets are pulling back. Why am I saying stop buying Bitcoin and start watching altcoins? Well, that's going to be expressed here in just a moment. But altcoins are peeling back. XRP has dropped from about $3.60 back to, I think, now sitting at $3.15, if I'm not mistaken, back up to 321 here. So bouncing a little bit off that bottom. Would have been a great entry point if you caught this Fibonacci extension at the $3.02 here on a nice uptrend. Let's actually see what the catch would have been. Yeah, that would have been an insane trade for anybody that's trading XRP out there this morning. A little bit less volatility too. But looks really, really strong. The chart I'm going to want to pay attention to, though, okay, is going to be Bitcoin dominance. This is the chart on why I am telling everybody you want to stop buying Bitcoin and you want to start looking at your last chance to pick up altcoins. Because if we break a certain level on this chart that I'm going to explain to you in just a moment, it is going to not only be alt season, but altcoins are going to be outperforming Bitcoin. We'll cover that here in just a moment. But paying attention to this news, BlackRock Ethereum ETF approaches now $10 billion milestone. And I'm sorry, you guys are right. I do need to check. President Trump is visiting the Federal Reserve any minute. So if you're entering a trade right now, I salute you, soldier, once again. But Donald Trump might be speaking at the Federal Reserve, so we might get some volatility here live on Discover Crypto. Right now, we'll probably watch RSBN. It says that he was estimated to get a tour of the Federal Reserve at 4 p.m. But you know Donald Trump, he's never early to a party, so we'll see what time that happens. But I am paying attention to you guys in as we speak here. So BlackRock Ethereum ETF approaches $10 billion milestone amid shifts in crypto ETF inflows. BlackRock's iShare ETF, ETHA, has rapidly ascended to $10 billion in assets under management, marking it as one of the fastest growing ETFs in history. This milestone underscores the accelerating investor interest in spot cryptocurrency ETFs, particularly in Ethereum. All right, in Ethereum, as digital assets gain mainstream acceptance. Bloomberg ETF analyst Eric Balchunas, the one that predicted the spot ETFs, highlighted ETHA's remarkable growth, noting it doubled from $5 to $10 billion in just 10 days, describing the surge as the equivalent of a God candle. Now, you know, I want to get your guys' thoughts on this before we move forward, okay? Do you believe altcoin season? Do you believe the altcoin season has started? Yes or no? Comment below. Do you believe alt season has started? Yes or no? Because this story right here paints a very, very, very important picture. And that picture is that it is too late to buy Bitcoin. I know that's a hot take. Some of you might call me crazy, but let me explain, okay? Let's look at the Bitcoin chart first and foremost on the daily. What I mean by stop buying Bitcoin, it's too late to buy Bitcoin, isn't that I'm bearish. Isn't that I say Bitcoin's going to go to $80,000. It isn't Joshua Jake turning and being like, all right, short the market to freaking zero. It's not that all. What I am saying is historically, you could very simply use tools that are based on historical data that gives you a said probability for a future outcome. So what do I mean by this? Well, let's look at some of these oscillators. And I'm going to just use one as an example. You can do this with many different ones, the stochastics, the MACDs, whatever you'd like here. But I'm going to ask you, chat here, when do you buy crypto? When do you want to buy crypto? Do you want to buy it all-time highs or lows? Do you want to buy crypto when it's high or low? I'm going to ask chat here. This isn't a gotcha question. I'm not trying to, trick you. I'm not tricking anybody here. Do you want to buy crypto when it's high or do you want to buy crypto when it's low? Because if your answer is low, which it should be, if you want to make money in crypto, you buy low and sell high. You don't pull a Dave Portnoy and buy high and sell low. You don't do a Jim Cramer and buy low and sell, or buy high and sell low again, predicting the opposite of the market trends. When you look at this chart here, Bitcoin is at all-time highs. So when I have people coming to me and say, Josh, should I buy Bitcoin right here? I am so beyond comfortable of saying no. I am very comfortable with saying no. Now is not the best time to buy Bitcoin. The best time to buy Bitcoin is when it has pulled back and oscillators are overextended to the downside. They're oversold, right? Now, if you look through history, if you bought when it was overbought, you'd still technically be up in your positions for sure. But my point is, if you're actually somebody that wants to buy Bitcoin at the best possible time, the time to buy Bitcoin is when oscillators are at an extreme low, when they're under 30 on the RSI. It doesn't mean that we need to see a bear market and that Bitcoin's going to, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying Bitcoin's going to go to a bear market. I'm ready for the people to be in the comments. Oh my God, Josh, you're a bear. You're stupid. You're selling the top of the market. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, should you buy Bitcoin right now? And if so, why? And right now, the chart is saying no. The chart is saying Bitcoin needs to consolidate. Bitcoin needs to pull back. And based off historical data, there's going to be another pullback. Whether we go to 100, we could go to 130K first. But maybe we go to 130K and then we pull back. Either way, the best time to buy Bitcoin is when the price is down and oscillators are oversold. Okay? So here's why I titled the stream, Stop Buying Bitcoin and Watch These Altcoins. Because you're not too late to the party. Right? I do believe we're very well into this bull run. I think a lot of you in this chat would agree with me. A lot of you guys are some of the smartest investors in this industry. Let me know. Honestly, let me know how type 1 in chat if you bought crypto with Bitcoin under $80,000. We don't even have to go all the way back to 50K, right? Let's just under 80K. I'm very curious to see how many people part of the Discover Crypto community were buying crypto when Bitcoin was at lows and altcoins were down, 70% or 80% or even more from where they are today. My point to that is Bitcoin is now at all-time highs. So should you buy Bitcoin right now? Obviously, no. You're buying you're buying the top. Can you potentially buy in and it keep continuing higher? Sure. Of course, that's not up for debate. We all believe Bitcoin's going to go to 250K, $1 million one day. I'm just saying historical data says wait for a correction. Well, if we're waiting for that, we're going to look at the Bitcoin dominance chart because this is the most important chart for anybody, which is most of the people in the chat. I see so many ones coming in. This is the most important chart you need to be watching if you're in crypto, you're coming into the market for the first time, you're asking yourself whether you should buy crypto or not, buy Bitcoin or not, because it's simple. Look at this trend. This Bitcoin dominance trend line goes back to mid-2022. Mid-2022. And it's respected it the entire time. The entire time. This was so easy to predict. Bitcoin is beyond easy to predict right now with Bitcoin dominance on a large macro scale. Intraday timing, you're getting a massive volatility. We're not talking intraday. We're talking on a broad scale. We called the exact top of Bitcoin dominance in the Discord weeks ago, months and months ago. We came right up to the resistance, got rejected, and came down. Now, I got to ask you guys a question before we move forward, because if you don't know this next question, you won't understand this chart. If Bitcoin dominance is going down, what is happening to the price of altcoins? Are altcoins going up or down if Bitcoin dominance is crashing? What is happening? I need to see that in the comments right now. We got an AD $184 super chat from Alpha Cry. Can you check the M87? Looks like a real gem. I will check it out here. Chat is so freaking smart. I love it, man. If Bitcoin dominance is crashing, altcoins are pumping. So for you guys that don't know, that are just now tuning in, maybe it's your first time, Bitcoin dominance refers to how much of the percentage of the entire crypto market Bitcoin holds. Right now, it's sitting at 61%, which means Bitcoin accounts for 61% of the entire market share of crypto. And there's a very key level that everyone needs to be watching, because if Bitcoin breaks this key level, and once it does break this key level, I have news for you. You have missed out on the majority of the bull run. In fact, a lot of people already missed out on a lot of gains. We were here at Bitcoin was at $15,000. It's crazy. Like Chainlink, $11. Like there's been already opportunity, but I think there's still plenty of upside. So this is why I'm talking about not buying Bitcoin. I still think you should have some in your portfolio, but over the next few weeks, what I would be watching here is if Bitcoin dominance starts to rise, right? It's trying to hold this support right now. If it starts to rise, you want to be dollar cost averaging into altcoins that are going to pump when the inevitable Bitcoin dominant structure finally does decide to break. Now, that could happen next week. It might already be happening tomorrow. I cannot predict the future. But what I know is that what I believe, this is my I'm not a financial advisor. I think everybody agrees with this. And let me ask you guys this too. Maybe you just don't agree. Do you believe the bull run is over? Yes or no? Do you think the bull run is over? If so, let me know why in the comments. But if that's the case, right? Money printing's coming. Deregulation's here. We have a market structure bill on the 30th. You have interest rates going to be starting to be cut as soon as as Jerome Powell is out of his position. You have money being injected massively into the crypto sector. Stablecoin adoption. There is so many bull cases. What you need to know is once this Bitcoin dominance structure breaks, it will be in fact alt season. So whether or not we're already halfway into alt season, that's a different question. But last time this happened, let's just zoom out here, was November. And if you guys remember November with Donald Trump getting elected, this little rotation, which was, let me get the percentage, 11% on Bitcoin dominance. I don't even think we're there yet on this. We're at 8%. It was a bigger position than this. Altcoins absolutely ripped for like 2 weeks. And it's a very quick time frame. When Bitcoin dominance drops, there is a very small window, sometimes 2 weeks, maybe a couple months, of altcoins just outperforming the rest of the market. And that is where the most amount of money and opportunity is made. But the people that come in, once Bitcoin dominance struggles or breaks, which I'll tell you right now, it's going to be this resistance right here. 60.5. I think honestly, it's 60%. Once Bitcoin breaks 60%, I'm going to be taking profits. I really am. I'm going to be rotating as much of my profits into Bitcoin as possible. I'll probably be rotating into stable coins. You're talking 2-3x's on most of your large caps. You're talking Ethereum at $5,000. You're talking Solana pushing, 280, 300. You're talking XRP pushing $4, maybe $4.25. You're talking massive, massive increases in your altcoin sector. Okay? So that is why the title of today's episode is Stop Buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin is at all-time highs. Should you have Bitcoin in your portfolio? 100%. But you should have been buying Bitcoin when it was at 55K, when I was in front of Capitol Hill telling politicians why we need to establish a Bitcoin strategic reserve, which they would have doubled by this point. You should have bought when we were at 30K. You should have bought when we were at 15K. And there's still going to be, by the way, you still should buy Bitcoin in the future. There is just going to be a better opportunity. That is my personal opinion. When is that opportunity? Very simple. When you have a correction. So it doesn't matter if Bitcoin goes, maybe Bitcoin does go to 130K. Guess what, bud? You missed out on a 70K pump. Let it go for another 10K. All right. Even if it goes to 130K first, what I want to see is the oscillator on multiple different oscillators, multiple different indicators, show price exhaustion, show accumulation, show oversold territory, multiple areas of confluence indicating that we're at an accumulation zone or a consolidation phase, that prices are overextended to the downside, and that it's a good entry point for Bitcoin itself. Until then, altcoins, I think, are going to continue to outpace Bitcoin. And if you're somebody that's now coming into this market, like I said, you should be watching altcoins over Bitcoin at this given moment. On a larger time span, you're talking a multi-year time frame, you should always be looking at Bitcoin. But I'm talking to the very people that are getting FOMO, that are getting emotional, that want to jump into this market instantly today, and they're trying to go, okay, what do I pick up? Do I get Bitcoin? Do I get Ethereum? Do I get some altcoins? And so for that reason, we're going to be breaking down a crypto tier list here today on what I believe are superior altcoins and projects that are going to absolutely crush it here.
You went into great detail.
Go ahead and see if Donald Trump, here he is. He's live. So we got to watch Donald Trump first here real quick.
27. We're well over.
It's ivermectin. It's hydrochloroquine.
It's going to be a real long time because it looks like it's got a long way to go.
Yes, sir.
So,
President, are there things the chairman can say to you today that would make you back off some of the earlier criticism?
well, I'd love him to lower interest rates, but other than that, what can I tell you? The country is doing really well. I just briefed the chairman of the deal with Japan. Japan is putting up $550 billion in order to lower their tariffs a little bit. That way they have a little bit lower tariff. And they also opened their country to free trade, which nobody thought was even a possibility. And we get a zero tariff in the free trade. We don't pay tariffs, and they're going to pay 15% on everything they send into our country. So it's great. But they put up, as you could call it, seed money. Let's call it seed money. You could call it anything you want, but it's a total of $550 billion. So nobody thought any of that was possible, and it's wonderful. And we're doing pretty well with the European Union, likewise, and we have some others. They're all really big, and our country's going to make a lot of money. We would be helped if interest rates would come down, but we're going to see how the board rules on that soon. I'd love to see them come down a lot, but we have a country that's thriving. We had a country 1 year ago. Today we have the hottest country anywhere in the world, and we'll get this one finished. Thank you.
Two observations out the gate. Where is Senator Tim Scott's hard hat? So that's a little bit concerning to me. But other than that, Jerome Powell needs to resign. I mean, what a curmudgeon.
A curmudgeon?
It's incredible to act like you have that much attitude next to the president of the United States. Is he being so graciously touring what's going on there? And by the way, you work for the
Dude, holy smoke. Stop slobbing on knobs so hard, bro. Chill, my guy. Chill, bro. Chill, my guy. Jerome Powell had that attitude because probably he is worried that he's about to lose his job. But either way, like, I'm not even defending Jerome Powell. I think he needs to go, but Dude's that's a crazy take there. Crazy take. Dude was straight up glazing. Bro is gooning for Donald Trump there. Absolute goon fest, bro. Gooning goober over here. Anyways, yeah, I still think Powell should resign here or cut interest rates. I don't think he needs to resign. Just cut interest rates. He doesn't need to resign. Just cut interest rates. Markets are not that bad yet. He's definitely too late. But guys, he's only there till 2026. Like, he's only there until June next month. Less than a year. And Trump has been just bashing Jerome Powell. Dude, it's like, imagine you're in high school and your bully is just being interviewed with you. Like, let's be real. Donald Trump is, bro's got a different type of aura. And when he's been dunking on you day after day, live stream after live stream, and is now standing next to you, I am sure you're going to be feeling, certain kind of way. But guys, if you are enjoying this content that was way shorter than I thought it was going to be, hit that like button, repost if you're on X, and appreciate you guys for just sharing this content and enjoying these late night streams. They're getting better and better each and every single day. But now it's time for a beautiful, beautiful update on our crypto tier list here. Powell is actually a very good speaker, despite what people think. And I don't think he's a bad speaker. He's a very good speaker. But dude can talk without panicking markets. I've watched every single FOMC meeting. The problem isn't the way he speaks. The problem is that he was so good for so long and decided to change the entire approach to interest rates in March this year with the tariff conversation. And so it's a little bit of it's kind of a balance back and forth, but because he had right to want to wait and see how tariffs are going to impact and interact with the markets. But now it's been 6 months. They haven't impacted them in a negative way whatsoever. Inflation's down, energy's down. The employment market's struggling. We need the private sector to start hiring more, which we need to reduce interest rates for. Mortgages are way too high. Home prices are way too high. A very interesting dynamic there. But Johnny, what are you doing, man? Powell has done a good job for the country. His job isn't to pump the market. I would say he's done a very mediocre level job because he was so wrong about transitory inflation. He shouldn't have cut interest rates by 50 basis points before the election. That was crazy. Those are two big hiccups. And I do think he's too late at this point, but what do I know? So anyways, let's move on to the crypto tier list, guys. Here we go. Welcome to the show. These ads are absolutely devastating on the screen here. How effed up by his transitory. Yeah, I would agree. So how we're going to start this here, chat. How we're going to start this here is we're going to start with S tier. Okay, S tier is obviously your best category. Bitcoin is the golden standard. And ultimately, F is your trash. F is where absolute hot garbage goes, like Hex. And you can kind of see the difference in the gap here. So if you're in a category with F, you're pretty much an all-out Ponzi scheme. S tier is store of value, future of innovation, etc. Get the point. Chewy's absolutely blatantly going against Trump just to spite him regardless. Yeah, and I don't know if that's what it is. I actually have no idea. I wish I could be a fly on the wall in those meetings, Pump the market is one of the Fed mandates. The Feds I didn't say pump the market. What I said is help the private. Their job is to balance inflation and employment. That's their job, which unemployment's been pretty balanced, but the way they take data is so misconstrued nowadays to just have political talking points for whatever reasons. The reality of the situation is the private sector is not hiring that quickly at all, and wages, while they're starting to outpace inflation, they could be growing at a much faster rate if it was cheaper to borrow money for a corporation. And so that's what I'm talking about specifically. But anyways, we could talk about that later. We need to talk about crypto right now and tiered list altcoins. So let's first let's before we get into the crypto tier list, does everybody understand, yes or no, where I'm coming from with Bitcoin, not buying Bitcoin and paying attention to altcoins? It's understanding that I'm not bearish. I just understand that in bull markets, you have pullbacks. Historical data says that Bitcoin's at an all-time high and oscillators need to cool off. And multiple different confluence points are showing alt season is more than likely going to be more profitable than Bitcoin over the coming week. So that is the focus there. So it looks like everybody's on the same page. Love to see it here. But you guys can still talk shit on me in the comments. It helps the algorithm. So please, please, please. So let's start off the bat. What altcoin should I start with, chat? Should I start with Chainlink? Should I start with Ethereum Classic, Dogecoin, Bonk, Avalanche, Cosmos, Jupiter, Shiba? What do you guys want me to start with? I don't know if we have every crypto on here. I've added most of the top 100. Most of the top 100. But what do you guys want me to start with? I heard Josh's take on Powell. Luckily, transitory inflation wasn't worse, though, and cutting by 50 basis point wasn't so bad. Sus that he did it right before making it seem political. Yeah. And the problem I actually have with transitory inflation is people are saying it's not the Fed's job to pump the market. Well, they pumped the market in 2021 with stimulus checks. They quite literally injected liquidity into the market. So it's also like they do pump the market. There is that as well. Duke is E category, Randy. I'm sorry, man. Start with the Doge Classic. Okay, we'll start with Doge Classic. Let's start with a meme coin. Let's start with Banger. Okay. So let's talk about Dogecoin a little bit. We're going to talk about Dogecoin a little bit, do some charts, and then we'll tier. But where do you think it believes, guys? Where do you believe Doge should be sitting? S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, E tier, or F tier? I'm going to leave it in C right now. But as you guys let me know where you believe that should stand, let's look at Doge on a daily time frame and a weekly time frame. All right. Doge. Boom. So Doge, as you can see, man, we called this so well back in April earlier this year at the bottom of the market. Doge broke out as well, had a nice double bottom here, absolutely started pumping here, is now retesting this major neckline on the double bottom. This right here, chat, is what I call a Kim K big booty bounce, baby. That is a Brazilian butt lift if I have ever seen one. But right now, what it's trying to determine is if the surgery was good or not. All right. If the surgery works out and it can actually turn this waistline into support. I know this is bonkers that I am using this as an analogy. You take it from the bottom, you put it from the crack into the butthole right there. You put it up here. You're looking at a potential 35% price action on Doge right there. If you were to go off the pattern trading right there, this looks juicy. However, I want to point out that on the daily, again, I don't tend to pick up altcoins or cryptos that are overextended, which on the daily is very, very much so overextended. However, we are at a major resistance or support level. So what I want to look at here is going to be the 4 hour if I'm looking for maybe a short-term trade, which does look a lot better, right? RSI is coming over, still not fully overextended, but is at a point where I might, okay, dollar cost average a little bit into Dogecoin. Now that it's pulled back here, let me pull this up here. That pulled back 20%. Again, markets can crash right now. We're anticipating a bit of an alt season. So this is where dollar cost averaging matters. At this point in this market cycle, and maybe you guys agree with me or you don't, I think anybody buying crypto today are extremely late. They still have a chance at making life-changing money. I'm not disagreeing with that. I think there could be a blow off top. You could see Bitcoin go to 140, 150K. I could be completely wrong on my analysis of 130K by the end of the year. We're already almost there. I think we're going to range between 120 and 130, but again, I could be wrong. Maybe we get this blow off top expansion, but the risk level now, the time to buy was when everybody was screaming Trump session. I mean, does everybody forget that 2 months ago, you had an entire, like most influencers were saying Trump was going to cause a great recession. Markets were going to go to zero. Bitcoin is going to go back to 50K. There was crazy, outlandish, bearish activity. That was the time to buy. Now we're more than double Bitcoin's price. Altcoins are up. Ethereum's up 3x from its bottom. Like there's a lot. We're already into a major extension. And so that's kind of, I know I sound conservative and annoying because I'm not feeding you guys constant hopium, but that's kind of where I stand here. So let's go ahead and rate this bad boy. All right. That sounded sus. I shouldn't be talking like P. Diddy like that. Chat said that Doge belongs in C, BB, FDCC, FAC, CC, DBAC, all over the place. 1E, 1F there. What I think of Doge is the grandfather of meme coin. Doge has Elon Musk backing it. There's an entire Doge department of the government now. And while I'm not the biggest fan of Doge because I think it's kind of peaked, I think there's other meme coins like Pengu that are potentially better than Doge. I'm not going to be putting a meme coin in an A tier category. All right. There's still a massive level of speculation that comes with internet meme. These don't have a real net positive for revenue. It's completely based off retail hype and speculation. So for that reason, while I would put it in an S tier for meme coins, that, in my opinion, is only B tier on real utilization. So I have to put Doge here at the B category. It's something that you could take a risk on. It's probably going to be around. It's the oldest meme coin. But ultimately, I'm not expecting Dogecoin to 10x. I'm not expecting Dogecoin to 5x. I'm expecting Doge to Doge. And when retail comes into the market, they will pump the price of Dogecoin. It's sitting at 23 cents. It's going to be incredibly hard to ever get to $1. But if you want to make a bet on a meme coin, I would have it in the B category for just the maturity it has. It's one of the oldest cryptocurrencies, and it is the grandfather of meme. All right. All right. What are we doing next? What's the next altcoin here? We got Algorand. We got Quant. Let me move these around a little bit. Chainlink. We have XRP. XRP is a clean logo. Any trades? We do not have trades right now because Donald Trump was speaking at the Federal Reserve, and we were worried he was going to break the market. He spoke for like 30 seconds. Ondo, Algo, XRP. All right, let's start with XRP. XRP is going to be a controversial one. If you were to rate XRP, what category would you put it in? S tier, F tier, or somewhere in the middle? I'm curious to know this. We're going to talk. We don't even have to chart XRP at this point. All right. Is XRP S, A, B, C, D, E, or F? The founders dump on everybody. That's based. That is absolutely based. That's absolutely based, man. Should it be an F tier right next to Hex, the biggest scam in the market? Should XRP be right next to Bitcoin, the S tier, the gold tier of this entire market? CSSBBA. I love this. Well, let's look at the chart real quick. All right, let's look at the chart and analyze this real quick. So, for you guys that don't know, XRP is one of the best performing crypto assets in this entire bull run. Absolutely exploded to the upside here. Going from about $1.90 to $3.65 recently. Coming back down, bouncing off a Fibonacci extension at the 0.786 perfectly. Now looking to come back up to the $3.40 and hopefully range next to $4.53. A lot of growth, massive upside, massive profits being taken. You have the co-founder. The co-founder was dumping XRP on their community over the last few weeks. But what is XRP? And we're not talking about price action. Price action doesn't determine the category and tier of a token, right? The price action does not and should not ever relate to the category of a token. Because if it does, that means you're emotionally biased, and either you're putting in an S tier because you made a lot of money, or you're putting in an F tier because you lost a lot of money, right? There's no actual substance to that. XRP, one of the oldest cryptocurrencies on the market. Ripple's one of the most successful companies in the entire crypto industry. Brad Garlinghouse took on the United States government, destroyed the Kamala Biden-Harris administration, destroyed Gary Gensler, and made them all put a sock in their mouth, right? XRP, and I've never discredited XRP for what I'm about to tell you. XRP is the spearhead to financial regulation for crypto in the United States. Always has, always will be, and will always continue to be. Now, where I have a problem on XRP is going to be based off certain biases from the last market, but other people are going to argue that it's too centralized. Okay? To everybody out there that thinks XRP is mid and therefore should be in a C category because it's centralized and investors dump on it. Newsflash, investors are dumping on you with every single other token. Every single other foundation is dumping on you with every single other token. The only token that's not is Bitcoin, and even Bitcoin has market makers and insiders that are dumping on you every single time. Okay? They have miners. They have institutions. So you can't be mad that a founder is making money. That to me is not what talks about a product. To me, a product is, what is the development activity? What is their partnership connections? What is their roadmap ahead? What is their ties to actual financial tools and regulations that can scale this company to compete with JP Morgans and Visas and MasterCards and institutional grade products? XRP, I was wrong about, has all of the above. However, I'm never going to put a token in S tier that has founders quite literally dumping on their investors, has a founder that donated to the very party that shamed them and burned them and ruined them for 4 years and all of their holders. And I also don't believe it's DeFi is S tier. I believe it's DeFi is actually B tier. But I believe Ripple's partnerships as a company and RUSD is A tier, and therefore I'm putting XRP into A tier. XRP is a grandfather token, has some of the best devs. David Schwartz is absolute GOAT. Ripple's crushing it as a company, whether you like it or not. They are applying for a financial banking license. They will probably get it. They have RLUSD. They have a huge treasury. They have marketing. They have probably the best storytelling out of any project on the entire market other than Satoshi Nakamoto himself. And therefore, I have to put XRP in A tier. It's not a B tier crypto. And you'll see I would not put XRP next to Dogecoin. I would not. Let me know if you agree, yes or no, in the comments. Let me know if you agree. But it's one of the best performing altcoins. It has some of the most amount of revenue being created. While the DeFi is, in my opinion, B or C tier. It's mediocre AF. They have advancements. They have tooling. They have investments. They have partnerships. I know it's shocking. But I'm not going to, by the way, for everybody that's about to clip this and be like, oh my God, XRP hater turns into XRP lover. I don't believe XRP is going to $10,000 whatsoever. I don't believe you should be buying XRP at all-time highs. But it is an it's an A tier token for this cycle. All right, guys, next up, what do we got? What do we got here? Next token, XRP to $4.20. It's true. I just hate the culture of XRP. Exactly, man. I mean, the culture of XRP is disgusting, but at the same time, you have to realize how powerful that culture is. It's insane. It's some of the best narratives out there. Aave. Ooh, Aave. Aave is a good one. DeFi borrowing lending protocol. Donald Trump's World Liberty DeFi staking all their ETH through Aave. Where do we believe Aave goes, guys? Where do you believe Aave goes? Let's go ahead and pull up Aave here on the chart. So anybody that doesn't know where that price is sitting, because I don't have it right now, it's sitting at $300, $4.3 billion, $4.5 billion market cap. You go back to January 2021, one of the most stable currencies, about to approach all-time highs. I don't even think I have to talk about this one. I think everybody knows this is like the largest DeFi lending protocol. Aave is quite clearly an A-tier token. Aave is for sure an A-tier token. Guys, everything is staked on Aave. Aave is for sure A-tier for DeFi. If XRP is A tier for centralization and tokenization, Aave is A tier when it comes to DeFi and borrowing and lending protocol and liquidity providing. For sure. For sure, man. For sure, dude. All right, what's next here? Cardano. Let's do Cardano. This one might be controversial. What is Cardano? CBASDEF. Let me know. What do you guys believe Cardano should be? Do you think Cardano should be in the same tier as XRP and Aave? Do you think Cardano should be in the same tier as Doge? Do you think Cardano should be in the S tier of Bitcoin? Wow, a lot of Fs. Is this like the Cardano hate live stream of the day? It's all of the anti-DZs in the chat here. That's crazy, man. They bought Bitcoin. Hey. All right, this one's going to be a controversial take, okay? I'm going to explain why, though. All right, Cardano is one of the best and longest existing platforms in the market, sitting at a $30 billion market cap. If you look at the entire chart action to the Cardano's price action, doing pretty well. Right, the all-time high was $3. Yeah, sure. I think that's very, very much attainable. Sitting at a $30 billion market cap. Got great development. Charles Hoskinson's one of the best leaders in all of development and crypto in the industry. He's an innovator. He's an early ETH founder. I wish they focused a little bit more on interoperability and didn't have so much drama between the large foundations, but they're still executing properly. For me, Cardano is a fantastic platform. I honestly, I don't have anything bad to say about it. I would tier it right next to XRP. I would have to put Cardano in the A category. It is right there with XRP. It's right there with XRP. I'd say that is an A tier top 20 altcoin. I'd say it's an A tier top 20 altcoin. D is the best. Yeah, it's just, you know, whether you like it or not, like this isn't price action, chat. Again, let me remind you, I see people in the comments. This isn't about price action. This is simply about development, community, revenue, foundations, innovation, regulation. Like that's my my focus is fundamentals here. Cardano's heavily tied to the administration. Cardano's doing a lot of development work in you know, I mean, they have massive user bases across South America, etc. Like they're, you know, whether you like it or not, they're crushing it, man. $30 billion valuation, that's an A-tier crypto. For sure. For sure, for sure. All right, next up. Ondo. All right. Ondo. Let's do Ondo. Ondo, it's going to be kind of hard to see. Where do you believe Ondo should be listed on a tier list? S tier, F tier, or in the middle? Let me know where you guys believe Ondo is. Ondo, you guys know I am incredibly biased on. I, you know, think Ondo is probably the best player when it comes to connections and tokenization and, you know, the development of what will be the tokenized equity market. You have a lot of people out there saying A's, B's, S's. This is going to be shocking to you guys because I have such a large bag of Ondo. Ondo, in my opinion, is B tier. Mic dropped. Mic drop. Why is Ondo B tier is what you're going to ask me. Right? Why wouldn't Ondo be A tier? Well, it's really simple to me. Okay? Ondo, in my book, if I were to tell you while we're hanging out in a room, drinking beers, you know, sipping back on a nice whiskey, I would tell you Ondo is S tier. I would tell you it's A tier, borderline S tier, in my opinion. But the reason why I can't confidently express it being a A tier token yet is it's too young. Ondo is way too young. There's too many questions regarding governance. There's too many questions regarding Ondo chain, which is still yet to be announced. It's announced, but we don't know enough about the tokenomics. So until I have all of that data to confirm that it's actually a legitimate, like the tokenization and the tokenomics relevance is going to be an A tier token, from a risk factor, based off that fundamental, me not knowing, it's only B tier right now. It's too young of a project. It's too young of a project. That is why I don't actually care about the unlock schedule. The unlock schedule is primarily investing back into the ecosystem. But what I want to know more about is Ondo chain. I want to see the launch of the tokenization product. I want to see all of that released. But at that point, once Ondo is probably pushing a $7-8 billion market cap and those products are out there in the market, we'll be able to reanalyze that, if that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense for you guys, yes or no. Or if I think just call me an idiot. Type idiot in chat if you don't agree with me. But ultimately, I just think it's too immature. It's too young to give it an A tier listing when its products aren't even out yet. I want to see the product development. Like, that's what I'm listing off of it. So to me, it's still a great play. Yeah, I'm probably overexposed to it if you're looking at it from this perspective. I think it has the most amount of upside out of anything we've covered yet. But it can't be A tier yet till those products are released and we know they're actually really, really strong. Until then, it's B. Some people saying C. All right, give me another one, guys. What we're going to do next? Next altcoin. Next altcoin here. Let's actually check the crypto market real quick. By the way, guys, can I get some W's in the chat for the new FOMO website? This is the new news website. So this will be releasing at midnight tonight. But you'll be able to literally favorite any single crypto you want here. We have the big five up here, Solana, XRP, get all of your crypto news. This is the cleanest crypto news website you'll ever see. There's going to be a global chat feature that's absolutely beautiful. The widget dashboard, this is the new widget dashboard. You can see all the widgets that are integrated. We even integrated a swap function so you can connect your MetaMask, your wallets, your Coinbase now and swap directly from in your dashboard to any asset you're looking at. So if you're trading through a DEX, you have your own swap feature right there now. This is completely integrated with TradingView. Of course, XRP here. If you click on a news article, you can now listen to it. Check this out. If let's say you're trading and you want to listen to an article because something just broke, you can hit play.
The SEC is holding a closed meeting.
It broke my ears because I had that on max volume. But you can use AI. You'll be able to choose which agent you want, whether you want a girl seducing you like Elon Musk on Twitter, or if you want a memeified anime dude, yapping in your ear with a British accent. You'll be able to choose that as you trade. through your dashboard service here. So that's really cool. This is getting excited, guys. Very exciting here. But the news, so much cleaner. Have all your relevant news. This is going to be this is the #1 crypto news app in the world now, and I can't wait for it to launch tonight. It is the cleanest. There's not another. I'm obsessed with this. It is beautiful with everything and how it's being produced. But all right, let's go over to crypto tier list. I see a lot of good questions in chat. Pengu, I want to do. I want to do Pengu. Pengu's a hot take. Honestly, chat. Okay, we're gonna use a different. Let's use a different meme as Pengu. Which one looks like there's some shit coins on here because I was judging as putting them in the F category. I need like a Pengu. All right, we're gonna do an honor. I'm gonna put P for Pengu in a category in a second. Pengu is a meme coin. All right. Why do I want to talk about Pengu? Because Pengu is insane. I don't even think I should rate Pengu yet. I think we should rate some shit projects too. So you guys know I'm not just gonna put, B tier or higher on these projects. But where do you think Pengu sits? Is Pengu A tier, B tier, C tier, F tier? What do you guys think on Pengu? Because Pengu is, a smaller market cap. It's a smaller market cap token. So when you put Pengu with Doge, right? I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be quick on this because I don't have the token, but I'm putting Pengu at B for sure. It's going to be B for sure. You guys might be like, holy smokes, C at best. Here's why. Here's why Pengu is B category with Doge. I'm going to tell you right now, and you guys are going to go, oh, that makes sense. Remember, I'm not talking about price action here. I'm talking about brand, fundamentals, connections, relations, partnerships, institutional integrations, regulation. Pengu, Pudgy Penguins. Not only is Pudgy World sick, by the way, which I don't know if you guys know this, the co-founder of FOMO is the one that helped design the website for Pudgy World and got them their $5 million grant contract on ZK. That's who's building our dashboard right now. But what I want to talk about is the branding. I have nieces that are getting Pudgy Penguins as dolls. I have friends that are asking about Pudgy Penguins that don't know anything about crypto. You have Pudgy Penguins at the NASDAQ on opening and closing bell with Vanek. All right. In terms of brand, Pengu for sure. Walmart partnership, B category for sure. You could argue Pengu's actually A tier. You could honestly argue Pengu's A tier. I'm not putting it in A tier because it's a meme coin, but I would be comfortable with Pengu in each of these categories. I would be comfortable with it in either of those categories, and I straight up wouldn't be mad at you guys. Yep, corporate plant coin, the next Furby. It's like their brand I would say Pengu's brand's way bigger than Doge. Way bigger than you don't have Dogecoin dolls. You don't at all. You just don't. Pengu's massive, man. Pengu's massive. I actually really like Pengu. But all right, let's get another project. Get a project. I'm gonna do some shit ones. So you guys know my kind of where I'm at with this. ETH Classic for sure. That goes in the E category for sure. ETH Classic is dog shit. Harmony 1, probably D category. Probably D category for Harmony 1. Floki's probably a C tier. I would say meme coin there for you guys. FTX, obviously an F tier. Let's see what else we got here that we could throw up on the chart. Cosmos Atom, another favorite. Interoperability, but C tier for sure. Algorand. Where do you think Algorand belongs? Harmony belongs in F tier. Has Harmony, I don't think Harmony's like a rug or anything. I just think their project's like pretty much in the gutter. I'd say it's pretty much in the gutter. Let me see. $197 million market cap. No, I mean, it's just kind of sideways, bro. It's kind of sideways. But I don't know on the development. I would put it on D for development. Like, it just kind of like mediocre AF. Everybody's saying BCC. Okay, let's do Algorand. Where does Algorand go, guys? S, A, B, C, D, E, or F? Algorand's B. Tell me, okay, let's try this, though. Give me a letter and tell me, like, a brief description. Like, tell me why B. Like, why would Algorand be a B, not A, or C and not B? Right? Let's pull it up. Coin market cap. Less than 5x this cycle. Partnership proposal, Barack, you could just message us on Twitter or email hitnetwork at gmail.com. Algo is B plus, B or B minus. A B category. D, it's a dead chain. Tether stopped backing them. No interest. Damn. Yeah, ISO 222, so therefore B. All right, well, here's my opinion. You guys probably know my opinion on this. Algorand is an S tier project. And I know this is going to be shocking to you because I'm completely lying to your face. And I know you just probably gasped at, gasp for air right there. Algorand to me is a C tier project. Now, why am I talking about this? Because it's not bad, right? But I'm not putting it on par with a Cardano or an XRP. That's because of tokenomics. You can see it clearly. Tokenomics wise, its market cap is near its not near its all-time highs. I guess it's actually nowhere near its all-time high. What would have been $3? $3.15. But again, we're not talking about price action. The reason why I'm talking about Algorand is what Tether just released. Now, this might be FUD, but Tether came out and said that there's very little user development. They're not going to support Algorand's chain anymore as the largest stablecoin provider in the entire world. And to me, that gives me all right, Algorand's not a shitcoin by any means. It's not a bad project by any means, but it is right now in the midfield of trying to break back into solid tier project. I think marketing could be a little bit better as well, but ultimately in terms of the development, I don't see Algorand out there advocating for policy like, your Cardanos, your XRP, your Chainlinks, your Polkadots, I'm in a lot of these rooms. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but it's more of it's kind of like, I don't even know how I'd categorize it. I think it belongs right there. I think it literally just belongs right. It's not bad. It's not bad by any means. Not the greatest product, but it's like mediocre. It's there. It's like they're building. It can be better, but I would have put it in B category 2 weeks ago before the Tether announcement. I definitely would have. I would have put Algo in the B category 2 months ago before the Tether announcement. AMP. I don't think I have AMP on the. Oh, I do have AMP right there. I don't know anything about AMP. I should put in I don't know category. To be fair, I don't have no idea what AMP's do, man. Like I'd probably put AMP in D category. AMP's probably for sure a D category project. Let's go to AMP real quick. I know it was a collateral token, which is why I never liked AMP, because like every single L1 out there is a collateral token as well. But it's not. I mean, the price is. I'd have to see what they're doing. Helping money move. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to put D is kind of also my just placeholder if I don't know. So, they're developing. They've been around for years, but I have no idea what they're doing. I love how the narrative has changed with XRP. And it did. AVAC is. You want me to do Avalanche? Avalanche is a good one. Cat, where's Avalanche? I mean, this one's easy for me. I know where I'm going to put Avalanche. I 100% know where I'm putting Avalanche. S through F. S through F. A, C, B. Wow. Let me actually pull up Avalanche. That is at. It is a 10 billion. Yep. It is a 10. Yep. Interesting. This one's easy for me. I'm putting it in B category, guys. I'm putting it in B category. It's also just simple. Avalanche, I think, is on its way to A. I think Avalanche is on its way to A tier. I definitely believe Avalanche is on its way to A tier. I think its best development's probably its gaming side of things. But in terms of user development and policy, XRP Cardano beat it by a mile. So I actually agree with Seth Shepard right here. I would put Avalanche above Doge and Ondo. I probably need one more category right there. So I'd put it like it would be an A- or a B+. Avalanche is too hard for me, but gaming is, I have to put B because look, gaming, it's so early and such a liquidity extraction. It's still way too early in terms of development. Even though they got the blockchain gaming, they got, what are they called? Shrapnel or whatever the projects are called. It's definitely not on the same scale as Cardano, Aave. Aave Access to try to stay. They have great products, great development. I also they're trying to get into policy more and actually focus on tokenization. I think they're doing a lot of the great. They're B tier. They're for sure B tier. They have a massive treasury, got a large foundation. They could definitely do work with it. So I'd put AVAX. AVAX for sure is an E tier in my opinion, but it's definitely not A or S tier. S tier. What else is in an S tier? Well, I'll just do one easy for you. Ethereum. Ethereum's S tier for sure. Ethereum's 100% S tier. I do have another S tier token. What do you guys think my other S tier token is? What do you guys think? There might be three other S tier tokens. What would you think is an S tier token, chat? Ethereum, Solana, Chainlink, Solana. Hunter Biden, you think's S tier? That's crazy. Shiba. You think Shiba's S tier? You think SPX 6900's S tier? Let me know in the comments right now on this video, especially if you're watching after the live stream. What are your S tier tokens? What would you consider S tier? I'm going to give you one. I don't even give the spiel. Here you go. Let me just move it up here. Boom. Chainlink, S tier by far. Not even debatable. Not even debatable. Every single project you're looking on the screen relies on Chainlink for data oracles. Every single one. Every single one. Chainlink is for sure S tier. Sergey Nazarov working on bills, shaking hands with the president on every single council meeting, donating and sponsoring and involved with every single institutional partner, integrated to 60, 70, 80, 90% of your altcoins for data oracles and providing, on-chain data, off-chain data on-chain. It is the CCIP, the cross-border remittances. Their ecosystem's vast. The utility is more used than almost any single system I've seen out there. And they haven't even flipped on the switch of payments yet. Wait till they start charging for their services, which is estimated to start happening in November. Buybacks, baby. Chainlink is S tier for sure, man. Easiest way. Easiest play of the day. Easiest play of the day. H-bar is S tier. That's an interesting. H-bar is S tier. I love Venn diagrams. We need to go woke. We need more woke. I love Venn diagrams. You have no woke, you have woke, and in the middle, you need a little more woke. Name who I'm impersonating. Go. Yeah, but the Chainlink token doesn't do anything because data providers can get paid in USDT. The Chainlink token is used for massive utility. Not like governance, access. I mean, we could pull it up here, but it's, dude, the CCIP and all of their softwares, people need to realize that's the power of Chainlink, is the fact that you can purchase in any single crypto. You can purchase in USDT, but on the back end, they're going to be auto-converting and using Chainlink. The buybacks and everything that are going to go into the launch in November, which we've covered in multiple different YouTube videos, we don't have to talk much. But the fact that it's not even on now and Chainlink is worth $10 billion, imagine when it is turned on. Imagine when it starts being a little bit more deflationary. Imagine when there's a supply crunch. I think by far Chainlink is S tier for sure. Someone said I'm impersonating. HBar's tech will be all of crypto's tech in the future. It's too early though. Hash graphs, layer zeros are too early. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different. There's directed acyclic graphs, hash. There's so many different types of blockchain. For me, HBar's probably B tier. Probably put HBar in B. Not bad. They just have not. HBar has not accessed retail at all, man. It's only institution. Like, to be an A tier, I think you have to have retail and institution. Like, XRP technically doesn't even have retail in the terms of development. It just has retail in the sense that for some reason there's thousands, if not hundreds, millions of people out there that think XRP is going to go to $1,000 or $10,000. I think some flip of the switch is going to happen. So I would say HBar is right underneath XRP in terms of the marketing aspect. but I do like H-bar. Nothing against it. Which one has the biggest potential this bull run? That can't even different conversation. All we're doing is tiering cryptos based off fundamentals, not price action. Obviously, lower tiered cryptos, guys, more than likely will have lower market caps and probably have higher potential. But with that said, you know, different conversation. B is A tier. Interesting. B. I have one. I have a hot take here. You guys want one? You guys want one more here? Let me see. Where is it? I gotta find it. Here it is. Solana. Where does Solana go on this chart? Is Solana S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, E or F, and belongs with Hex? Let me know. Where does Solana belong? Because FTX, remember, FTX is the reason why Solana collapsed in the first place. Would you put it in F tier? Is Solana trash? Or is it super? Man, a lot of C tiers. Wow, God tier. F without memes. For me, Solana's easy. Solana belongs in the same category. Its logo is it's S tier for sure. Solana is S tier. Guys, Solana is the casino of meme coins. Solana is tokenizing more than anything right now as well. It's absolutely crushing it. The revenue is insane, but Solana controls and owns the entire meme market. It's like Solana is sports betting and the Vegas Strip all in one. It's not going to go anywhere. Everyone's going to continue to memify it. FTX collapsed. Insiders took advantage of it, and somehow it still came back because the community is stronger than ever, and now institutions are buying it with ETFs. Solana's easy S tier. Is it going to die? Kryptoni thinks Solana's going to die? Maybe. But I would say at this point in time, dude, Solana A tier, AF, man. Am I wrong about that? It's just like you could see up here, you have everybody, the entire globe, store value, Ethereum, which is all institutional, Chainlink, which is both institution and retail because all of retail relies on Chainlink and institutions all rely on Chainlink for data now, or data points. And Solana's your, for sure, retail. Sure. Solana, you're bugging. It's not bigger than Solana's for sure bigger than. Solana has way more development activity, way more users, way more institutional interest for sure than Cardano. For sure, man. I think it would be crazy to have them on the same tier. I don't even hold Solana. I don't know. Chainlink is not higher than Cardano. I completely. Josh, when will you sell Chainlink and AVAX? Not sure if you hold AVAX. I don't hold. I do actually hold like I think 70 AVAX on my, but not a lot. Chainlink though, I have a massive bag of, and I want to sell Chainlink at about $40. Sorry, you're wrong. No worries. Tell me why you're wrong in the comments, man. Tell me why I'm wrong in the comments. Do you guys believe? Okay, let's take a poll here. We're gonna take a poll for chat. Do you think Solana or Cardano is A tier? Solana or Cardano A tier? If you had to pick one between the others, Solana or Cardano, all you could say in chat right now, Solana or Cardano. Which one's A tier? Solana or Cardano? Solana or Cardano? Solana or Cardano? D. Soul all day, baby. A lot of Cardanos too, though. And you got like I hope people are also removing the fact that they hopefully own the crypto. I don't even own some of these cryptos that are on this. Like I don't have a ton of XRP. I don't own Cardano. I don't own Aave at all. I do own Chainlink. I do have a bit of Solana. I do hold HBAR, right? I hold HBAR for sure. I put that in B tier. For me, it's like, okay, what has more users, more revenue, more development, more institutional interest, more integrated into policy? It's Solana for sure. ADA has more upside. Again, not the conversation we're having. Not at all about upside here. Cardano for sure probably has a bigger upside than way smaller market cap. What I'm talking about is fundamentals. fundamentally, what would be considered S tier? Sol's ADA, Sol's S, ADA A. Midnight dropping to Solana holders too? Absolute W. Absolute W. Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Well, guys, I have good news. I have good news here. Okay. Whether you like Solana, whether you like Cardano, whether you like XRP, whether you like Dogecoin, you can get all your guys' news on FOMO.io on our brand new news website that is launching at midnight tonight. If you guys want access to this, okay, come join our Discord. We're going to be giving it to all the Discord users for free. Be all in the Discord. Come join our Discord. And if you guys want me to continue on doing these crypto tier lists, you need to make sure you smash that like button on this video right now. Make sure you hit that like button so hard it breaks your screen. And it will 100% continue this on. I'm convinced Discover gets paid to avoid talking about real projects. Chat, should we all beat them up? Is Bitcoin not real? Is Ethereum not real? Is Chainlink not real? Is Solana not real? Is XRP not real? Is Cardano not real? Bro's like, Discover doesn't talk about real projects. Wants me to promote some like sub $10 million market cap token. Crazy, bro. Crazy. I'm just kidding, bro. I love you. Welcome to the stream, man. I don't really care because y'all don't talk about real cryptocurrencies here. What are you guys smoking? What are the real cryptos? No, only Bitcoin is a real crypto. Wait, so hold up. I'm so confused. That's getting me. Josh, could you check out Helium HNT, please? Yes. I mean, I don't have any thoughts on HNT other than I don't trade it at all. Yeah, I mean, looks like it's starting to break out like every other altcoin. You've got massive resistance at $4.36. Would I buy right now? Probably not. The daily has plenty of room to, be extended to the downside, but you could be creating a cup and handle, which would be very, very bullish. But right now, man, it's pulling back with the rest of the market. Pulling back with the rest of the market right now. ETH is absolutely ripping here on the daily. Interesting. Came down to 3,500, all the way back up here, testing that resistance right now. Appreciate the super chat though, man. Yeah, I just don't know enough about Helium. Helium like screwed me over. I tried buying miners like pause. Back in 2021, they never came. Pause. He just entered the chat, man. Y'all talk about crypto that Satoshi would shit on? No, you don't know that. You 100% don't know that. 100% you don't know that. That is no. Dude, if you're a Bitcoin maxi, you're ridiculous. Like the innovation that smart contracts and smart contract platforms have created over the years is just magnitudes ahead. It's literally life-changing. It is restructuring our financial system. It's insane. You think Satoshi would support anything proof of stake? Satoshi's not God. It doesn't matter if he supports proof of stake. The question is proof of stake actually good for technology, yes or no? If you don't believe proof of stake mechanisms have been a net positive to financial systems, crazy, bro. Crazy. Crazy to me. Yeah. I think Satoshi would have been for anything that fixed fractional banking, personally. It's not centralized garbage. Bitcoin is centralized, homie. It has 5 mempools. It has 5 mempools. It's not as centralized. I agree with that. But decentralization's a masquerade, chat. Decentralization's a myth. Decentralization cannot exist in a capitalistic market, in an open barter system, a global barter trading system where more money can always buy more power and more governance. There is never going to be complete, full, utter decentralization. Ever. Impossible. Real Crypto's ICP, I disagree with that one. Internet Computer Protocol, I have dealt with their team hands, like at least the marketing side. I don't know about the development side at all. But their marketing side, holy smoke, that foundation. They need some help there. Every proof of stake runs on a centralized web server. 100% Kryptonia. I agree with that. I don't disagree with that, homie. I agree with that, man. AWS. I completely agree with that. I don't disagree with that. But if AWS crashed and went down, we have a lot more to worry about than your portfolios. Bro, that's literally the definition of proof of stake. That's why it will fail. I completely disagree. Completely disagree. Real crypto is bonk wild. Turbo baby, let's go. ICP is losing ground. I think ICP is probably C tier for me. Definitely C tier for me. Every crypto project is fraudulent. They all use AWS. If you want real crypto, that means decentralization. Which crypto other than Bitcoin is fully decentralized? Internet Computer Protocol. Internet Computer Protocol is not fully decentralized. I've looked into the canisters and a lot of the sketchy stuff that's happened in that system. But dude, it doesn't matter. Centralization doesn't matter. Guys, it just doesn't matter. Why does decentralized matter? Let me ask chat right now. Everybody that's complaining about decentralization, why does decentralization matter for tech? Right? Kryptoni goes, bro's not an answer, man. I'm being completely honest with you. Decentralization's cool. It's dope. It's about owning. I can answer this question for you. Like, I will answer this question. Why does decentralization matter? I will tell you the answer, but it's not what you think. Because the whole space was created to be decentralized. Wrong. Completely wrong. Why does decentralization matter? Why was it created? Freedom. Getting closer. Decentralization was created, Bitcoin specifically, was created to solve the double spending problem. So we didn't rely on a centralized government that printed endless amount of capital. But the expansion off that, over the last 15 years, since Bitcoin's inception, decentralization, Web 3.0, the purpose of it is for users to own their own data. That is the whole point. Web 1.0 was writing data. What was it? 2 was writing and coding or whatever it was. And then 3 was write, coding, and owning. The purpose of decentralization in today's world is for the user to get back control of their own data. That is the whole purpose. So with that, you have technological innovations that will be, whether it's smart contract applications where you control the applications you're developing on that web browser. Is there a central point of failure through AWS? Sure. But that doesn't matter in the entire context. AWS isn't going to shut down. It's an extreme perspective. It's read, write, own. Thank you, Jason. It was backwards on. It's read, write, own. So it was read, then it was write, then it was own. The purpose of almost every single project right now is giving back that ownership to the user, right? Boom. Now every proof of stake can be double spent based on effing vote from the validators. Dude, Bitcoin could be double spent based off validators. What are you smoking, Kryptoni? What are you smoking, man? If there was a 51% on Bitcoin, if there was a 51% attack on Bitcoin, what do you think would happen? If there was a 51% attack on Bitcoin, what do you think would happen? It doesn't make sense. There will, like Ethereum, I don't see that happening to. Why? Why would a hacker, I'm going to answer this too, and this was told to me by a quantum physicist, a quantum engineer, okay, made it make sense at a hackathon. He said, if even there was a probability, like maybe quantum AI ends up hacking servers, if you're really worried about that, dude, our entire fractional banking system and like life as you know it would be altered. You're screwed. Like, who cares if you hold Bitcoin, dude? Literally, you're going to be hunting deer with your neighbors. If you want to prep for that World War ending stuff, go for it. But my point is, what this guy told me, way smart of me, quantum engineer. If there was even a capability of somebody to have a 51% attack on Bitcoin or a 51% attack on Ethereum or whatever it would take to take over the validators, why on God's earth would they do that rather than just create an exploitation tool and exploit bridges and liquidity on that decentralized market? It's another great question. If someone could hack Bitcoin, why would they hack the largest exploitation device on the planet that has the most amount of liquidity on a global scale? Right? Bro goes, I'm out. You can't answer my questions, man. Look, again, I'm not saying you're not wrong in terms of security risk with proof of stake. That's not the argument here. You were saying that everything besides Bitcoin is pretty much a shitcoin, and that couldn't be further from the truth. A lot of these altcoins are revolutionizing how data is spent on chain, how users interact with protocols, how developers own their own data and their IP. There is value to a lot of these tokens. There's a lot of value in it. Are 90% of them vaporware? Sure. We can meet there. Can anyone talk about the Revolt Cardano? Nothing is quantum resistant as of now. Well, technically cryptography is quantum resistant, but yeah, I agree. It's like if quantum happens, man, like none of us are gonna. Dude, our servers are down, AWS is down, RSA, like everything's hacked. Everything's hacked. No understanding why people don't see true utility and value in projects. Because usually people are here. I mean, let's be real. We're all here just to make money in crypto. You know, so some people just don't care. They just want number. They want number go up. All right, guys, I have to hop off. We're now 16 minutes late here, guys. I will be in the Discord posting some trades here, hopefully tonight, waiting for that next trend, hopefully looking for some shorts. Until then, come join the Discord. The link's in the bio. I appreciate you guys. I love everything that is happening here. Again, I respect everybody's opinions too. We're just here to have a conversation. That's the whole point of this. You know, it's toxic if you don't have these conversations. It's toxic if you guys actually agree with me, because then we just become an echo chamber, and then it's just maximalism. And then no one's ever going to be right. We're just going to all end up hurting each other and, you know, circle jerking at the end, which sounds fun short term, but then you wake up and realize that that was just absolutely gross. And you need to walk away, man. You need to go see some sunlight. You need to touch some grass. So I don't know where I'm going with that. But yeah, guys, if you like this type of content, make sure you hit that like button. So that way you guys, you know, we can do more of these crypto tier lists here, guys. I'll make sure I save this poll. That way we can start with other cryptos as soon as we get back into it. But appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the Discord here tonight on Discover Crypto. Peace out.